Okay, so the stadium announcer there just explaining what's going to happen this afternoon with these track cycling events. So basically what I can tell you is that we have about to start the C1-3 women's individual pursuit. The race distance, 3,000 metres, in case you didn't catch us this morning. So first up will be the bronze and then the gold medal race. Then we'll have the women's individual C4 pursuit. Then we'll have the women's individual C5 pursuit. All the distances are the same. All the distances are 3,000 metres. And then we'll have the men's individual B pursuit, for bronze and for gold. So that will be after that. And that will round out what has been a very, very impressive first day of track cycling at the London 2012 Paralympic Games. Wow, what excitement. Smashing world records. We've had 2 world records set today in 2 different categories, but the one that was most impressive, I've got to say, was Liu Jiangyu. So we switch our attention now to the women, and they've already been out in their qualifying rounds this morning. Just testing there the start system to make sure all is well. In the first event, we've got Denise Schindler from Germany and Alison Jones from the United States of America. They are racing against each other for the bronze medal. So Denise Schindler is who you can see on your screen at the moment. She's a C3 athlete. All right, it is a bit of a change of pace. You've got to get your head around a different event now, but Denise Schindler extremely well at the World Championships earlier this year, and so did Alison Jones, who's being introduced right now. So Alison Jones and Denise Schindler racing off. Individual pursuit. So Alison Jones won this event in 2011 at the Track World Championships. So 3,000 metres, so we've got a little bit more time to settle into this compared to what we've just been sitting through, which was the 1,000 metres. So not quite as crucial to get such a quick start, but it is crucial to get up to top speed and maintain it, and it's such a test of endurance, this event, for that very reason. Very difficult, and that's why many of these cyclists who excel at the individual pursuit also excel in the road cycling as well, because of the test of speed and endurance rolled into one. So it looks as though Schindler has the early advantage. She's only by about a second though, and it looks as though Jones has managed to pare that back slightly. So three kilometres. So basically what will happen is you get a good start. The best riders are pretty even with their pace throughout the event, but yeah. Coach urging his rider on there, but look, the best athletes will manage to keep an even pace, but look, it really depends on the riders. Some may leave some in the tank so they can actually absolutely motor home over the final couple of laps, but Denise Schindler certainly has the early advantage of this race off for the bronze medal. Jones is getting back to her though. She's cut the deficit to less than half a second. So it's gone from more than a second to less than half a second. It could mean that Schindler has gone out too hard, or it could just simply mean that Jones It's just finding a rhythm. Certainly, though, the trend is now towards Jones catching, so only 0.219 of a second off the pace. So rapidly paring back that deficit. Don't forget that there'll be a fair amount of fatigue coming into play. Both of these women raced very, very hard this morning. Now Schindler has fallen behind Jones. So Jones has taken the lead. And the crowd is really getting behind both of these riders here. So let's get an updated look at how things are going. So Schindler now has dropped off the pace by almost a second, but what can she do? What is she capable of? Don't forget, we've still got 2 laps to go. So has she got enough kick in those legs after a tough race this morning? Can she use the crowd to lift her above? But it looks as though Jones has gone about it the right way. And Jones has a commanding lead now. More than a second in front, 1.684 in front. With only a lap and a half to go. She's about to get the bell. Here we go, the final lap, and Schindler has unfortunately dropped well off the pace, 2.5 seconds behind. So Alison Jones is going to be the victor. She'll come home with the bronze medal. Bar any catastrophe, of course, in this final half lap. There we have it. She's done it. 4:27.793. It'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see how that compares to the other final this afternoon. But Alison Jones absolutely thrilled. He's screaming out. Oh, that agony makes it worth it when you get to come home with a medal, and urging the crowd to help her celebrate. That is fantastic. It's great to see. Well, that is fantastic to see an athlete truly celebrating her achievements, and well done. Alison Jones from the United States, the bronze medalist this afternoon, but who will take gold? So the race for gold is Zheng Xini from China and Simone Kennedy from Australia. Zheng Xini, another one of those fantastic riders from the Guangdong club. So Simone Kennedy, as we mentioned earlier, she's from Parramatta in Western Sydney. But she's really burst onto the scene. Her international debut for Australia was at the World Championships in Los Angeles this year, and here she is now racing off in a final. She's only 18 years of age. What a bright future she has ahead of her. They're away. Clean start for both of them. A little bit off their line, Zheng Xini, but that's all right. as we've been talking about this afternoon, that the start isn't the most crucial part. It's how quickly you can get up to speed, though, and maintain that speed and push through the pain. This endurance race is just so difficult. So Zheng Xinyi, the 24-year-old, she's based in Guangdong province, where she was born. And she won the individual C2 category at the World Championships earlier this year in Los Angeles. And at those World Championships, Simone Kennedy won her category, the C3 pursuit, but of course they're racing against each other this time around. Simone Kennedy with the early advantage at this stage, so she has had a great start. She's about 2 seconds out, but as we saw in the bronze medal race-off, it doesn't really mean much because all the business end of the race really is with about 1,500 metres to go, and it gives you a better sense of who's managed to maintain their speed. See, already you can see there Zheng Xinyi has made up some of the time, so she's halved the deficit now. Simone Kennedy, what an extraordinary rise for Simone Kennedy, and she is so young. She's competing in 4 events here in London, as is Zheng Xinyi. Okay. So Zheng Xinyi has overtaken Simone Kennedy, but there's really not much in it. This is going to be a brilliant finish for this race because the riders are pretty closely matched, although from that side-on view, it was quite obvious that Zheng Xinyi has the clear advantage. She's made it out to almost a second now. So Simone Kennedy had that great start, but Zheng Xinyi, as she's picked up pace and powered through, is clearly stamping her authority on this. And look at this now. She's almost extended her lead to 2 seconds, 1.704 seconds. So Zheng Xinyi performing extremely well. The Guangdong cyclist, which is producing just so many strong cyclists at the moment. Li Peng is the national coach. Wei Jiantao is the other national coach. They're in charge of Zheng Xinyi. So now Simone Kennedy, about 2.5 seconds off the pace, but Zheng Xinyi taking nothing away from her. She is having the ride of her career at the moment. Look at her go. She wants that gold medal, and all indications are that she's going to get it. Because that deficit now, more than 3 seconds, that is going to be very, very difficult to overcome. So anything short of a catastrophe for Zheng Xinyi, she should be feeling comfortable and quite confident. And as she powers around, she may get a bit of a glimpse of Kennedy to see exactly where she is, and it may spur her on. She might be able to just spy her before she goes. Just as she comes around this bend, she might be able to see her on the straight going down, and that will motivate her even more. And of course, with the crowd here at the velodrome cheering her on. So Zheng Xinyi, 2 laps to go. What have we got? She's extended her lead even further, so she's about 4 seconds clear now of Simone Kennedy. And she will love to hear that sound. 1 lap to go. Zheng Xinyi, the crowd is absolutely behind her at the moment, and she's even letting herself have a slight smile because she's enjoying this moment. The crowd absolutely lifting her up across the line. What an amazing achievement here. The Chinese cyclists doing extremely well this afternoon. Gold and gold to China. So that was, in the end, 7 seconds faster than the bronze medal race-off. So absolutely stamping her authority. And it was outside the world record time. It was actually slower than she raced this morning, but only by about a second. So what a champion, Zheng Xinyi. And Simone Kennedy, I do hope she celebrates that silver. What what a fantastic achievement. Her first Paralympic Games, racing into the final for the gold medal. Well, that is the women's individual C1, 2 and 3 pursuit. That is over with for these games at least. But now moving on to the women's C4 pursuit, I must declare a personal interest in this next race. We've got Alexandra Green from Australia racing against Marie-Claude Molnar, and then for the gold, Sue Powell from Canberra, from my cycling club in Canberra, the Canberra Vikings, racing against Megan Fisher. And I know there are just so many of Sue's cycling buddies and friends and family in Canberra who will desperately be hoping for that. But there's the final standings of the women's individual pursuit C1 to 3, so that's the 3 categories combined. Sung Sini winning ahead of Simone Kennedy, and the bronze medal going to Alison Jones from the United States of America. She's absolutely exhausted. Very difficult to stand up after an endurance race. She will be shaking all over, and after such an amazing performance this morning as well, it was impressive that she backed up and was, you know, sort of less than a second behind her world record breaking performance this morning. It's a very, very big day of cycling, and then she's still got some days to back up for as well. So I was talking about Sue Powell from Canberra just a moment ago, and earlier today when she raced in the women's qualifying C4 category, she set a world record, and of course in that process set a Paralympic record because of the games that we're at. So she rode the 3,000 metres in 4 minutes 3 seconds, .306. So she will be racing for the gold medal against Megan Fisher. The Australians have done pretty well though. Alexandra Green racing against Canada's Marie-Claude Molnar for the bronze. So that pair will go first, and then it will be the gold medal race after that. Looks as though we may be squeezing in a victory ceremony before we go to the women's individual C4 pursuit.